What's up, everybody? I am, of course, Hope, and this is another episode of Pulling Back the Rug. And I am so happy that you chose to come and be with me on tonight. Look, we have an amazing episode. And again, like I told you last week, if you don't want to laugh, just keep on strolling. So last week, we did a show on brotherhood, and we called out somebody on the Pulling Back the Rug stage. And so they've decided to grace us. So as promised, this is part 2 of brotherhood. I don't know if y'all ready though. I'm gonna go on ahead and introduce everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, anything, it's HELV as in Victor SME0822 at yahoo.com. Again, that is HELVS as in Victor ME0822 at yahoo.com. But let's get into the show. So let me introduce my guest for tonight, and I hope y'all ready. Oh Lord. So over here, hey y'all.
Hey, God bless you. Hey, how you doing?
I'm not ready. So here it is. Now on last week we had Mike, we had Ken,
Yeah.
and we called out Mr. Deonco Taylor, who has decided to grace the Pulling Back the Rug
Prophet
stage.
himself.
Oh man, I'm here with the pastor and the elder. Man, this is so good, man.
So y'all ready to pull back the rug?
We ready.
Oh man, I hope they ready.
So look, last week we was talking about brotherhood and we was talking about different stuff. And you know, Deonco, you know, I ain't gonna say nothing, but it seemed like to me, you the trouble out the three. I don't know.
Well, you know.
But we gonna get into that, okay? We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into
Talk
it.
about that.
So now I'm gonna kick the show off, Deonco, because I know you did go back and you watched the
Oh,
show.
I did.
So I'm sure you got a lot of notes and all of that. You got a lot to say. So I'm gonna start off with this, okay? Give me your definition of brotherhood. What is brotherhood?
Man, that's good. So my definition of brotherhood is simply what these guys have been to me throughout the years. It's accountability.
Yeah.
Being able to hold each other accountable for actions, words, things we may have wanted to do but did not do because of us holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
So accountability is one. Two, no Diddy, but
I cannot.
loving, like knowing
Yeah.
how to really love each other.
That's good. So let me pause you right there, because I know you said no Diddy, and I know that that's the new term. Y'all thought I was going to bypass it? Absolutely not. So even with my children, everything is no Diddy, no Diddy. Now we're not going to go into why we say no Diddy. Everybody
Okay.
right now know why we say no
Hey,
Diddy.
man.
But when it comes down to actually, I cannot. When it comes down to actually loving a man, we have made it so taboo. We have made it so
Absolutely.
just cringy. Like, you know, everything is homosexuality, this. And I made a reference last week about people thinking you all were so close that you all were tambourine players. Now, if you watch the Medea movie,
Well,
tambourine player is, you know.
well, I got something to say about that.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, and I'm gonna choose my words very wisely.
Go ahead.
Please.
But
Yeah.
for those of you who thought we were tambourine players,
No, sir.
I'm just gonna say no, sir. I ain't gonna tell you how I know.
Right.
I'm just gonna say no, sir.
But
And I'm
you
believing
made
at that, 'cause,
you made a
know,
valid
I'm the one
point
that
though,
put it
because
out there, right, guys? All right.
everybody has a problem with the word love when it comes to brothers. You know, everybody has made everything so. But you just openly said, these are my brothers and I love them.
No, for sure.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. But in this day and world, like you said, people will automatically assume that because I show my love to these people,
Yeah.
that we're gay or we're tambourine players. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here.
Yeah.
This is genuine.
Yeah.
These two guys, I will say, has been so genuine from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
And the finish ain't over until
It's done.
my good Lord say, well done. Hello,
Fold that
somebody.
tin up.
So let me say this, because I do want to say this to those who are watching, because I know how people are. Now, we're not throwing shade to anybody who's in a same-sex relationship. That's between you and God, right?
That's it.
But we were
Absolutely.
basing it off of the fact that you all are so close that even when you were in relationships, and this is why I said this is pulling back the rug, when you were in relationships, you would get accused of being too close. Oh, you must be with them. You must, and I know y'all could jump in anytime, because I mean that's kind of
Well, in that sense, like we said like last week, you know, we spent so much time together because we just learned, you know what I'm saying? That was our brotherhood with each other. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't anything funny. You know, it's just the fact that when you find, you know, brothers that you built that type of relationship with,
Yeah.
you are able to, you know, like I said, be open with them, you know what I'm saying? Hang out,
That-
chill, kick it.
It's just that, and it's like, bro, I want to be around people who actually love me.
Right.
that
Yeah,
part.
it's genuine.
Love you at your
So-
best, love you at your worst.
So with that being said, from sun up to sundown, we were together. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It was at 7 o'clock. We ain't even brushed our teeth yet. We texting, yo, what time we gonna be up at the park? What time we doing this?
Yeah.
What time? Because
Yeah.
we actually love to be around each other because of the genuineness behind it.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Oh no, for sure.
Like,
Always. It was never a dull moment.
Majority, that's what it's based off around. See, like when you have those type of brothers that like everything is fun, you know,
Yeah.
it's genuine, or you know, that we just have a good time with each other, just being around each other, fellowshipping with this, you know, bowling, music, whether it's actually going out to get some food or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. That's just like
Art,
that's how we
gym,
built our relationship. and
Castles.
fellowship.
White Castles.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
boy.
what it started with. So
Out of
you know,
town.
we just come to set the record straight that no, we like women.
Y'all are brothers.
We are
So let me, okay, and I'm happy you walked into that.
Come on, open this door.
So listen, okay, so out of the three of you all, I'm gonna ask this question before I go straight to him, okay?
Okay.
So, out of the three of you all, who do you think has had the most girlfriends?
Probably
Definitely.
me. That's probably me. For sure, I done had the most girlfriends.
So let me ask you this then. Right.
I lay hands.
No. Okay, y'all, bring it back in. No.
You should have got us together.
So let me ask you this on a serious
seriously.
note. In your future, do you see yourself settling down? Like, do you want to be married?
So, eventually, yes. The problem with me now is going through life experiences. We're dealing with serious relationships, right? And people or the person that I was with at the time did not see what I saw as love.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, my problem is giving somebody my heart again, and they don't see what love
Yeah.
really means.
That's a big
It's like, I'm straight. I'd rather just be.
So let me ask you this then. Okay, we all know that everybody has a past.
No, absolutely.
Could it be because of your past reputation? And I'm going to say past because nobody knows who you are now unless you're with that person.
Absolutely.
So could it be that?
I do agree it has some type of play in it. However, being with a person and you learn them,
Yeah.
then you learn their behaviors, you learn who they are,
Yeah.
which means that their past should no longer affect, or what you knew of a person
Right.
no longer affect what you have in the present.
right.
Especially if you're talking about a futuristic thing, right?
Right.
So if you're talking about marriage and things like that, I'm not going to take my past
Right.
into my future.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's like, how can you hold me for something that I did way before you,
Yeah.
or the character of who that person was before you? Maybe I was going through something, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why I was doing what I was doing.
So let me ask you this then. Do you feel like you've matured? And that's for all of you all. Do
Oh,
you
absolutely.
feel like you've matured and you've grown? What?
I do.
You
but
can't give me googly eyes though
I'm
on
listening to
set.
what you're saying.
Hey, y'all say that
What
for
is
later.
you doing?
I'm just saying. I was listening to
This
the
ain't
question.
pull back the bed sheets.
You did that.
whatever.
Y'all marriage, y'all man ain't defiled.
Listen, it is
Hey,
not.
it's
But do
not
you
defiled.
feel like you've matured?
Absolutely.
Mike say yes. I know I have. And that's why I'm very cautious on even giving myself and my heart to someone else.
Yeah.
Because I've matured so much and dealing with what I've dealt with in the past, I refuse to deal with it again.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just wait until I know for sure this person really knows how to love me for me.
Yeah.
So
So I want to dig deeper into something you said last week, and I'm gonna say Ken. I ain't gonna call you Fats. Something you said last
name
week,
is
and I
Sir.
want you to kind of elaborate on it. And I want to ask these guys what they feel. So Fats made a bold statement. He said, "My wife, she don't have to pay bills. She don't have to do nothing. All she got to do is be my helpmeet." Do you feel like that's it? Look at you. A good statement.
come on.
A good statement to make, because I mean that's a bold statement.
It's bold. But for me, I agree with him.
What y'all do?
Let me tell you why.
Y'all DMs.
I am
listen.
the provider. I am the head of the
That's
house.
the bottom line right
Now.
That's the biggest thing.
Now, don't get me wrong. There is a time where I may need my helpmeet
right.
to get a job and do what she have to do
Right.
in order for our house to succeed.
Yeah.
However, your priority is not for me or not for me to benefit off you working.
Right.
It's for me to provide for you
Right.
so that you can now nurture our kids and our household.
Right. So now I got a lot of feedback off of
Hold
that.
on, let me tap in.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
So I definitely agree to an extent, and I say to an extent only because if you are my help meet, then where I fall short, that's
You
where
should
you help me meet.
Pick up.
And it doesn't mean all the time finances.
Right.
Sometimes it could just mean emotional, you know.
big,
Right.
bro. That's big.
I may need you to meet me halfway,
Wow.
you know, emotionally,
Yeah.
because I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
So providing everything is
Yeah.
a bold statement, because when you say I'm going to provide everything, that means whatever you're going through, that means I put myself in a position where I say, if you having a bad day and I'm having a bad day, it's my responsibility to provide you with a good day at that point.
Yeah.
No,
gonna
I was
let you-
technically saying financially.
Yeah.
Because what you just said is very, very true.
Yeah.
As her being a helpmate, you know what I'm saying? If I was specifically talking about finances,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because what I've learned in just studying different things, and like I said before, I've learned that once I say that I want to become a husband, that means that now I tell God that I want to step in and take care of her, because now I'm being her husband, her provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer, you know what I'm saying, God is both of our providers, but as being the head of the household, I take on the responsibility. Now, what Mike just said is very, very true.
It's
now,
key.
it is, because now you just said, now I need you to come and take and uphold the part where I'm lacking at, which is, it may be emotional, it may not be financial, it may be in other areas. So that's so
Yeah.
that's so true. I
Even
totally
with
agree
that, I agree with what you said.
that's
It's
big.
very key.
It
Yeah.
is.
But I want to go deeper, because some people or some men are not bold enough because of their pride to say, I'm having a bad day.
That's good.
It
That's
is.
real good.
So-
That's big.
As my helpmeet, even if I don't say it,
You got to be able to see.
will you pick up?
Right.
Yeah.
Will you be able to see that I'm hurting or I had a rough day?
That's what, bro. That's
Yeah.
good.
So, but I want to say too, though, at the same time, men, it's okay to speak up and say you
Yeah.
down and you
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and it's okay to
what
cry. It's
help,
okay.
man.
Yeah.
It is okay.
So y'all hear them, right? Okay. So now look, I want to make it very clear that it's two of them that's up here that's looking for their help me.
Looking
gonna
here.
Put that out there. Okay. I'm just going.
Talk about some liquor here.
I'm just going.
Searching what victory time
No,
to say?
no. But I mean, what you all are saying is so true. You don't find conversations like this because men hurt just like women do.
Absolutely.
And go back, no Diddy, but if a man cry or whatever, now
I was about to say
he's,
that. I was just about to say that.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
oh, you soft, you sensitive.
Right.
So, question time for the three of you all. Out of the three of you all, who do you think is the most sensitive?
That's
Do, do, do,
I don't know.
You know what? I think it may be. I feel like it may be even, and I say
Yeah.
that just because we all are three different type of men, and
Yeah.
we may handle certain situations differently. You know what I'm saying? I don't think one of us are more sensitive than the other. I just think that maybe we just, it's just how we may handle a situation.
Yeah.
We just may handle it differently.
Because I don't think you're sensitive.
Well, I say this. No, I say you're wrong. I'll say this,
Really?
and the reason why I say this is because I recall, because I've lost a few people in my life, right?
Right.
Where it comes from, brother, mother, everything. You know what I'm saying? These guys here has been my rock throughout it, right?
Yeah.
So it was a day where I didn't cry, but then it was a night where I was bawling, but they had me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that type of thing, I wouldn't say that I'm not sensitive. With me being in the industry with the funeral home and stuff, like I've
Yeah.
learned how to contract my emotions.
Yeah. Because you have to, right?
Because I
Because you're
have
trained to.
However, I do get emotional. And
Yeah.
I do have my moments where I just cry and cry and not cry.
Did he?
But I will say that, for instance, I remember one day, the day my brother died,
Yeah.
I never forget. Came out the house. The first two people, because he was at work still, was y'all two.
Yeah.
About to cry now.
Come on, don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Oh my God.
Man,
Yeah.
this
But
dude
I'm
here,
gonna yeah.
he grabbed me, man. And when I say it wasn't, it was an embrace that was like
That brotherly love.
Yeah.
brotherly, but like father, but
Straight.
dude, I'm with you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That thing there
different,
showed
bro.
me so much other, and it opened up my eyes
Yeah.
to being able to be vulnerable. You know,
Because
with
you
these
have a
guys,
lot
too,
of people
you
that
know?
say, hey, what's up, bro? Because we use that so loosely now.
Yeah.
Hey,
the
what's
word.
up, bro? What's up, sis? But when it get down to it and in crunch time, you really find out who got your back. And I'm going to go to a memory that I have because it kind of put me in a different perspective about you all's relationship. So it was when Mike lost his grandfather. And here it is. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth because I just look for certain people. So we're at the funeral. I see Dianco, and we got ready to go to the cemetery. I don't know where Dianco went. So I'm like, where's Dianco at? Now, they done left me with Mike at the worst part. Where is? But I think the thing that stuck out to me was the fact that when we drove up,
I was there.
Dianco was standing at the grave already.
In the rain.
Waiting. In the rain. It was pouring down, raining.
No,
but
my
he was
brother.
waiting for Mike.
Yeah.
That is what you call love. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's what we're lacking. And I don't often do shows with men, especially black men. But this is my second time doing it. And I know that you're opening up the eyes of those who have real relationships, saying it's okay for you to love your friend. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. We've turned everything so negative.
Everything.
You know what I mean? So it's like now we're getting back to the place where love is now accepted and all of this stuff in the news don't matter. Everybody ain't on all that. You know what I mean? Some people just actually love. And again, you all have seen each other in times that
No, for sure.
So many
times.
years, man. It's just,
Yeah.
it's been-
Over 20.
Yeah, it's definitely
sure.
been- And we've definitely seen ups and downs.
I'll say even like that very same embrace when my grandfather died, I didn't even call them.
Popped up.
And you called them
yeah.
and told them that we was back at home and they popped up.
Yeah.
Go, Papa.
And that very same embrace I received in return.
Yeah.
You know, because that was a moment that I did need somebody.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I didn't have family around, you know, but it's different, when, you know, you got brothers, cousins, and all nieces, nephews,
Same
stuff
instance
like
with
that.
y'all.
And,
Yeah.
you know, then you got your brother
Yeah.
You know, I have biological brothers, but these are my brothers.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't separate the two. You know, we all the same. But
Yeah.
these are
But
my
you
brothers.
can't though, because you are. That's why when we did the show last week, we called you out because it was odd sitting on the stage with two, and one was missing. I'm
Let
like,
me just say this. Okay, I was working. I
you was
couldn't
tardy for the party.
I couldn't, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
couldn't
miss
shake
the
it.
sauce for that. Yo, what?
Yeah. But
I made adjustments
you did.
so that we can do this again because I love my brothers.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I never. It's never a point where I call or they can call and say neither one of us showed up
Yeah.
because we gonna show up.
I said the same thing,
We
man.
gonna show up.
Look back at the same thing when I lost my granddad. Same thing.
What?
With Mike at the funeral, and it's just like you said. We've seen each other's downfall.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
seen each other at our worst points about
Yeah.
like legal family members and different things, and that stands out more than anything because like you don't find that. It's not rare for somebody to have a relationship because there have been people who have relationships over 20-some years and they don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
for
You
sure.
know, and so like
And
to be-
it's probably off of the smallest misunderstanding.
Yes, that's
And I always say that on the show, like, don't let time pass and something happens to the other one where you haven't gotten the wrong right,
Yeah.
all because you stubborn
Yeah.
or whatever. And I'm gonna bring this up to you. I remember when there was a season where we didn't talk.
Absolutely. I was about to say way
Yeah,
up into
yeah.
it.
See, we tapped on it.
Yeah.
We didn't talk. It was
Absolutely.
odd though.
And again,
Weird.
and it goes
Yes, it's
back
odd.
to what I was just saying, pridefulness, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't that I felt like you were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was because whether y'all corrected me because that accountability came up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I didn't receive it.
Yeah.
Now my pride came and said, you know what? I'm just gonna go away for a minute and go in my hiding
Yeah.
place.
Right, for sure.
And a lot of times that's what ruins
Absolutely. That's good.
relationships. But I will say this about this core here. That didn't actually ruin us. It
Yeah.
kind of strengthened us, if it
It
makes
did.
sense.
Right.
Because now we know, okay, how to deal with that person individually
Yeah.
and how to hold them accountable without pushing them into a cave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there was times, even with Fat, like we'll go without talking, but then next thing you know, we pick up like ain't nothing happened.
Like
Yeah.
nothing
But
ever happened.
and it be all because sometimes, and like he said it last time, he was like, sometimes we go into the season where we just need to self-reflect
Yeah.
and get ourselves together.
Oh, so you did watch the show?
no, I watched
He
it.
watched the show,
I know, I
y'all.
watched
Because listen, there
sure.
is a moment where you have to self-reflect.
to
You have
self-reflect.
to check yourself.
You got to.
Because I'm happy that you said something. You said now we know how they deal with each other. We know how to handle each other. Because the way I handle Mike or the way I handle Ken may not be the way
Absolutely.
that I can come and handle you. Because everybody is different. You know what I mean? And like I think that literally showed us what real love is. Shut up, Bianca. I'm not y'all don't do that. Now you're gonna make me cut up on here. You see what I'm saying?
Hold on. I gotta go back though, because you know, like I said, I watched the show.
You
know.
watched the show.
And before we segue up into this part of the show, there was a little part where we was talking about how, you know, Hope took you from us, you know what I'm saying? So,
Oh,
you
boy.
know, I got to go back to that.
Okay.
Okay. And I
Oh
just
my
got to
God.
say,
He's talking about Andy.
I just got to say, you know, for the first, I was a little mad. But I was happy too
Yeah.
because I understand Mike.
Yeah.
So for Mike, he's one that needs to be in a relationship.
Y'all go get y'all wives and stuff. They're about to
You
bring
know.
some clarity. Okay. Go ahead.
He needed to be with someone.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not like me where I can be all bad by myself
You,
from here to Africa.
I would say that. I would say
no.
Wait a minute.
Listen now.
No.
What you say?
I say this. God didn't create me responsible enough to be single.
That's a good.
And I can,
Hey,
I
That's
can
a
be,
good point,
I can be
though.
honest and say
I feel
that
that.
I'm not responsible enough to be single.
I got you.
You know, because I mean,
Yeah, amen.
So I-
amen.
I did, however, say that I would never get into another serious relationship. But that's what I prayed for. I prayed to be in a serious relationship, but then I told myself
You won't.
because I was in a hurt place where
Yeah.
I would not get in a
Absolutely.
relationship. And God said, "Yeah, go ahead.
So-
Here you go, stupid."
And so with that, it was like because we knew he was coming out of a hurt place.
Yeah.
You know, for us it was like, yo.
But now the crazy part, wait.
Yo.
But the crazy part was
But-
you were my brother already.
So that's why I'm saying I was torn.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, nigga, sorry. I'm like, dude, you just got up out of here, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
We just moved you out. you literally.
But you had the
know what I'm
same
saying?
conversation with
But-
me too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So
Like it was
my
crazy.
thing was like, but let me pull myself back
Yeah.
because this is organic.
Yeah, for sure.
And what God put together, no man.
Yeah.
No man.
I
So I had to, like you said, self-reflect, get myself together. Even though I
So
was...
y'all felt like I broke up, y'all?
No. It wasn't you
It took some
personally.
time.
Right.
It took some time.
It was the situation.
You
I'm
was
gonna say this. It took some time for me.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I think the reason why it took so much time because I didn't know you. I didn't
Yeah.
understand you. You know what I'm saying? But when I began to understand you and get to know you, who Hope was, and knowing that your intentions was good for him,
Yeah.
then that's when like my attitude changed towards you and towards him actually being with somebody. Because when you with your brother, you see him go through
Certain
a bad
hurtful
relationship,
things,
a hurtful
yeah.
place, then now my defense is up because I'm like, okay, is she, you know what I'm saying?
What's
How's she
really
gonna
to
be-
it? You know what I'm
Is she
saying?
the rebound? What you want
Like,
him for?
what's,
And
and
I wanted
those
to
were the
just-
questions we had.
Yeah.
I wanted
for
just
real.
to make sure that he didn't have to go through another season of hurt. So when I actually say that you were really, you know, a good woman, you was, you know, what your intentions was to him, it changed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where that came
I
from.
want to
So,
say, you know,
Oh,
that
my
it changed, and you know,
Do you
I
hear
was a little
this?
salty.
I'm listening.
No, he knows for sure.
Oh.
I'm listening.
Oh.
I'm glad, you know, we didn't come in and interfere or ruin
Yeah.
absolutely.
what could have been or what is. I
Yeah.
would say,
About the situation.
you know, and it's a blessing. I say this all the time. Like you and Mike is an example.
That's a great example.
Great
Give
example.
me some hope.
Marriage. It gives you hope.
It
No,
gives you hope
seriously.
because woo,
No,
these
like-
women down there,
The women.
I mean, they crazy.
they trying to take your money for dinner and all type of stuff.
Hey, don't want to never mind. I ain't gonna start. Never
Behave. Please
They take you out
behave.
to eat.
Take
So
me
I
out to eat.
do.
What I'm getting? I'm just playing. Y'all, let me stop. I'm just playing.
We bring it back here. Go
Bring it back
ahead.
here, yeah.
I
My
want to
bad.
say this though, especially for you. You talked about all of the losses that you experienced.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, and of course this is pulling back the rug. A lot of people don't know. I know. I'm just saying a little bit if that's okay.
Talk.
Okay. So a lot
You're
of
free.
people don't know that you're a foster child. And sometimes we prejudge people because of their actions, or it seemed like, oh, Dianco just doing this. But sometimes we really be searching, you know, for that very thing. It's like, oh, I got this person. They remind me of a mother figure. But that
Absolutely.
doesn't take the place of me longing for my mother, or this is my brother. That doesn't take the place
Absolutely.
of, you know, you longing for your brother. So what is the serious side of Dianco?
Whew.
Because I know that, and I'm gonna get here with all of y'all, because all of y'all, we laugh and we playing, but all of you all have a calling on your life.
Absolutely.
You're chosen. Regardless if you want it
Don't you
or
stop.
not,
Don't you stop.
God has given it to you.
Absolutely.
Right? So what is the serious side of Dianco?
So two-part. Like you said, a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah.
I was a foster kid, got adopted. A lot of people don't even know this. I didn't meet my biological mother until I was 18.
Wow.
I met her when her father was dying. His wish was to meet me.
Wow.
And the week of his passing, I was actually on the way to him, and he died. So with that being said, family structure, right, is my serious point.
Yeah.
That's why I take these two here
Yeah.
to heart.
Yeah.
Because before I knew my biological family, I had them.
Wow, that's deep.
So
Woo, Lord, I need some tissue up here. This is, but I also, because like you said, you didn't meet your mom until you was 18, right? But then when you got that relationship with your mom, can you just kind of share with the platform what happened?
yeah, so nothing. To be honest, met her when I was 18. That was at my grandfather's funeral. Went down south and met her, met my other brothers and sisters. Now, my other brothers and sisters, well, sister, we've built a relationship. But as far as my mother, it was every other year talk to you.
Yeah.
All the way up until 2018 when she passed. She got killed. And to not have a real relationship with someone that is your biological mother,
Yeah.
and then you experience their death, what do you do? Was
Yeah.
the question I had, right? I will say this. The most important thing for me at that moment was not sorrowing over the fact that I didn't have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
It was actually being joyful that I can build a relationship with the rest of my siblings.
Yeah.
Because I understand that she possibly had to be the same way
Yeah.
for me to develop a relationship with my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And with that being said, my mother didn't have insurance when she died. So they were struggling trying to figure out, but God had already placed on my heart and put me in a position to where now I can go and pay for the funeral.
Yeah.
So I paid for her funeral, and they like, you ain't even really had no relationship with her.
Right.
How? Because it's not about that for
And
me.
that will always still be your mother.
And that's my mother. And regardless of the relationship or the encounters I had with her, that's my mother.
So for those of you who are watching right now, I feel it so strong. You may feel the same way he feels.
Ishabah.
You may not have an experience, a relationship with your mother, but you just heard him talking about the fact that he had to put his mom away in a respectful manner. Call your parent, check on your parent. I'm not telling you to go and act as if nothing has happened, but at least honor your, because the words say, honor your mother and your father.
And I will say this, Hope, I will even extend this. Even if something has happened,
Yeah,
there is nothing that can happen in this world, and I mean nothing,
Yeah.
that will keep me from having a relationship with my mother
Wow.
or my father.
yeah.
At the end of the day,
My goodness.
I'm here because of them.
Yeah,
That's right.
So with that being said, if I'm going to honor them
yeah,
in any way, shape, or form, even if I'm mad,
yeah.
Mama, I still love you.
I still love you.
That's it.
I'm sorry if I did something.
Right.
Because a lot of times, especially in this day and age, we get into it with our parents because of something that we did or we caused.
Yep.
Not because of something they caused.
Yeah.
Because their teachings has been their teachings from when I was a knee high to now.
Yeah.
It ain't changed.
Oh, that's good. Oh, listen, and I just want to say this to you all. It doesn't matter if they have a habit, be it drugs, alcohol, pornography, I don't care what it is. That's still your mama and your dad.
Still.
You still have to honor them. Without them, there would be no you. And here's the thing, we be so busy trying to be wonders and great and this and that, we haven't even mastered love.
Yep.
4-letter word,
Yep.
love.
So, I'm glad you said that. So for me, that's what brought me to why I love so hard, right? Because not having
Yeah.
those core things in my life and have to figure out that who was raising me wasn't really
Yeah.
who I thought it was.
Yeah,
And me being disobedient and stubborn and going off and doing all I did. However, it taught me one key thing, and that's love. Regardless of who it is that's raising you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or who you got put in their life for, does not matter.
Yeah.
The fact that they chose you, the fact that they even extended their arms and home and life to you, that's love.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Come on, man.
love is,
I didn't bring no tissue up here. You're doing too much.
my bad. But that's
That's the
why I
truth.
love
Yeah.
the way I do, which is unconditional.
But I feel like God knew exactly what to do. He strategically set you all up to be brothers. Both of you all come from a two-parent home. So you got to share their parents, and you got to, God knows exactly what we need.
Absolutely.
When we need it. What you was lacking, they had.
Absolutely.
You know, that's, ooh, Lord.
Daddies, mamas, and grandparents. And
Yeah.
cousins,
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And you get to share because, like I
Everything.
told you on the show, you all are more than just friends. You're brothers.
Yeah.
And brothers don't come from always blood. You know, it comes from those. There's people right now who's not as close to their real brothers and sisters as you all are.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just listen.
I say this too, that, you know, with experiencing all these things in life, losing from when 13, what was it, 2013? That was the first major loss. That was my adopted mom, right?
Yeah.
When I say I still didn't lack the parenting or the advice that she would give because of their moms, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I say they hit me and was like, yo,
Yeah.
da 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 da. Still to this day, for instance, my mama, I love my mama. I love her.
Yeah, for sure.
She would hit me, Prophet. Now, she would check me because she knows that even in the midst of what I go through now,
Yeah.
there is still something higher,
Yeah.
and there's something still deeper inside of me
Yeah.
that has to yet develop. So, I don't take moms for granted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On either side, man. I'm grateful. That's all I can say.
I'm grateful for y'all. I'm happy
grateful.
that you all have lasted and that you're still standing,
I
that
am.
you're vibing, that you're thriving. Y'all thought y'all was slick. So we gonna end the show like this. Y'all thought y'all got away? What are you gonna do next with these callings and these
My Lord.
anointings and these gracings? What's
Let me
next?
go first, cause
What's next?
y'all probably ready.
No, but
No,
I mean,
seriously.
you
So, for me-
definitely hear from God.
So
There's
for
no
me,
doubt about it.
What the people call me, or the title that's given, right? It's the prophet, whatever. That's fine and dandy. I'm not hung on being that so much, right? However, I know that's who I am. I know that's my identity, right? But for me, it's because I see a lot in these churches, and I'm not talking about the four walls.
Yeah,
The churches is the people, right?
that's it.
So I see so much, it deters me and it disturbs my spirit
Jesus.
to the utmost. To where I'm gonna be honest. I told God, I said, look, God, I love you. I will always serve you. If you tell me to go and prophesy now, I will.
Yeah,
However, to be in the forefront or to be outwardly doing what I love to do or what I
Yeah.
know I can do, I don't want it. I'm good. I'm straight.
Well, all I can honestly say is when it comes down to callings and anointings, the only thing I can do is
Pull it,
just go when he tells me to. And I know what my purpose and my calling is.
Absolutely.
And a minstrel is what he called me for, music and different things like that. So being able to, I know my calling is to be able to put a kingdom message, kingdom songs, things that are reflecting the kingdom of God. That is what I was called to do. And that's what I'm going to do. Whatever he calls me to do, whatever he unctions me to do, that's what I'm going to do. So,
and I'm gonna pause you, cause I'm gonna pull the rug back on you just a little bit. Okay? And I know it may be a hurtful place. But for those of you who do not know, you are really, and you have been sold out like to God for real. So much to the point where, unlike others, and we're not going to look this way, but unlike others, you saved yourself.
Yeah. Then, so just to give us a little backstory,
Yeah.
just being able to, being able to, well, going and having kids, or having a son,
Yeah.
out of wedlock, or not being married, being able to go to, one thing that I did was I told God that I would, save myself into marriage, work as hard as I can to save myself into
Yeah.
marriage, because I want to be able to, it's just about honestly being obedient,
Yeah.
and being able to live my life just, acceptable to him, because I didn't want to go out and have
Right.
another kid, doing all the kids out of wedlock, because it creates so much chaos,
Yeah.
among having many different baby mamas. That created, that creates chaos. So I just wanted to be able to, I did it. I didn't want to go back, and do the same thing or
Right.
repeat the same mistake or do the same
Right.
thing. So I'll just wait.
So I know you at one point you were abstaining for a long time.
Very long.
And I'm still abstaining.
No,
No, I know you're doing it now, but I want to point this out because you literally don't pay them no attention. You was in a committed relationship,
Yeah,
and you was saving yourself for that woman, right?
Yeah.
That woman ended up doing something, right?
Some things.
Right, some things. So we're not gonna, we ain't gonna, some things.
You got to speak in tongue on that one, but we gonna go ahead as we shall continue. What did you say?
You shall recover
Okay.
it all. My
And
God.
I mean, you made some decisions, and like you said, you didn't want to have a child out of wedlock, but you ended up having a son, and you love your son. You're amazing. Father of the year. However, you have now went back to what you originally stated.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how's that going for you?
It's challenging so badly
you were
because
about to say
it's challenging because especially when you go through a place where now when, like I said, as we talked about last week, the weight loss and different things like that, you start to get so much more attention.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, from older women.
Probably the ones that was looking at you all the time, but
Yeah, and it's like just going through that. It's difficult.
yeah,
But I try to just, not gratify the lust of the flesh, man. I just try to stay focused, keep myself busy with, with my gifts and different things like that. Because, like, if not, then that means that I'll be tempted. I'll be, doing different things like that.
Idle mind
But,
is the devil's
Yeah,
workshop.
idle mind is the devil. Is the devil's workshop. So I just try to abstain
know
from
the
those
word.
things.
so I
Sometimes,
commend
you know,
you.
and
I commend you. I
No,
do.
for sure.
I commend you.
it's tough, man.
When it comes to
It's a tough thing.
Look
being
at him
single,
looking at you.
hold on. I'm gonna say what I gotta say now. Being single and being able to abstain, I look at him, right?
Yeah.
Tough thing.
There is there's times, right? Where I would go, maybe a month. I'm being honest. Look, no, for real.
This is pulling back the rug. It
We would
is.
go, and I'll be like, bro, how are you doing it?
Yeah.
Do I not ask you this all the
Yeah,
time?
for sure.
I ask him how, because that's one thing,
Yeah. We get praying.
It takes a lot of
it takes a
self-discipline
lot
for
of
that.
It does.
discipline, y'all.
It does.
For
A lot
real.
of
It does.
self-discipline.
So when I did it for that month, shoot, I'm like, oh yeah, I got it in the bag. Nah.
Yeah. So that means that you definitely have to stay in a consecrated place.
So that for me, it
Yeah.
would have to be a consecrated place and then isolation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm trying to choose my words wisely. Being in an isolated place, whether it's from social media or whatever
Yeah.
the case is, it makes me focus
Yeah.
and it keeps me focused.
Some of the distractions, man.
Even if I'm dating somebody, I can still stay in that isolated place.
Yeah.
But if I see something, because nowadays the reason why the world is the world now, and our generation is now, or the generation under us is now
Yeah.
being the generation that it is because of what they see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that social media have all these things and television and all this, it's like, yo, I watch a movie and they getting it on. Hey, yo,
Yeah.
let's go on
So
back here in this
yeah,
room,
so
yo.
you definitely have to.
Because now
distracted.
it's like, there go that distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and if you're not strong enough
This.
to resist, man, you're gonna fall into
So
that
I'm gonna go to
thing.
you,
And I be
Mike.
falling
I'm
into
gonna
it.
go to you because
falling.
I can remember when we first started dating. No, look, check this out. You remember, Deonta?
Oh, we remember. That's why we can look at 'em.
Yeah, we did legs crossed. Like, and it was a very interesting scene. I mean, it was. Yeah.
Legs
So,
crossed for the
yeah. Yeah.
Legs
Yeah.
crossed.
legs
It was. Yeah. So
How was that? Because that's
Yeah, that was hard.
that was very,
hard.
very difficult. But
was
I can
hard.
recall when we first started doing it, I asked you, like, should I give him a chance? I came to you because I told you, I said, if anything
Lay
go
that
down,
thing on them.
I was going to blame.
no, he's silly.
No,
No, he
just
did.
playing, y'all.
He just playing. Shut up, Bianca. No, but seriously, you told me that if I was going to be safe with anybody, it would be
him.
Mike.
For sure.
And so that was the truth. So let me ask you, hearing what they're saying, knowing what you know, where is God taking you? Like, what example do you feel like you're setting for your brothers?
Interesting. So the example that my goal and my intentions is to always be a godly example of what marriage looks like. I had a great example, so I have no other choice but to fall in that same pattern of what a good husband is. So that from me watching my father be a good husband to my mom, you know, to what I do now, it, you know, ultimately it trickles down to what my brothers see,
Yeah.
you know, and so I'm always trying to be a godly example. I want to make sure that when we together, that we always having fun, but when it relates to the church side of it, I think we've all been able to share our experiences,
Yeah.
and be on a level where we can speak freely about how we feel when it comes to the four walls, not the you know, but the four walls and what's kind of just been going on in the four walls. We've been able to have candid conversations. You know, hey, this is what I see. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, some of it has been good. Some of it has been bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's just our opinion, you know, as it relates to the four walls that we call church. But I mean, to be a godly example, I think we've all just, you know, been in a place where when we come before God, we make sure that we're serious about what we do and how we do it. Even when we in church, you know, we've played gigs together.
And we
gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have fun. When we together, we gonna always have fun. But it's a serious moment.
Yeah.
You know, that we take serious. You know, we don't play God.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
just
say
say like
this
that. No,
because we are talking about brotherhood, and this is part 2. And I'm gonna pull back the rug on me and you for a minute, just to show when God puts people in your life. I'm talking about for real, for real. I can recall a time where me and Mike, boy, we was at each other's throats,
No, for sure.
and we went to your house,
My house.
went in your living room.
Sure the heck did.
And you said, let me tell you this. These were your exact words. We're not doing this. You said, I know what God said, and we about to pray. And you stood in the middle of that floor, and you prayed until when we walked out that door, we had it together. That's love.
Yeah.
And again, that's because 2 things. The example that I see in y'all, right?
Yeah.
But the second thing is what we've been told, you know, as far as spiritually. When you're so
Come on and tap in. Oh, my God.
Hey man, when your soul is attached to one another, right? Sometimes the devil comes to distract so that you abort the mission,
Absolutely.
right? And I recall that day I kept saying, "Don't abort the mission," right?
Yes.
And the mission was to get married at that time. You know, now that you all are married, the mission now goes further than just marriage now.
That's crazy.
So, when you understand the assignment
Yeah.
that you all have, and then you have people in your life to hold you accountable for that
Absolutely.
assignment,
Yeah.
ain't no coming to me and y'all want to kill each other. Because I was like, well, then slap her. Slap her. No, I was like, no, just stop playing. No, I'm just like, but seriously, it was like, no, we can't do this. We're not doing this. We're going to pray and we're going to get this thing together.
And as playful as you are at that moment, you became that brother that we both needed.
Yeah.
And it hasn't always been easy because
No.
it's been times where we've had to get you and we've had to say something
no,
to you
for
and
sure.
vice versa. And we may not all the time like it.
For sure.
But when you have that, like you said, that core, that that core group,
No, for
when
sure.
you have that group that will make you accountable, hold you accountable, this is what happens. And so I'm telling all of you all that's watching Pulling Back the Rug, we're telling you it's not always easy. They're talking about manhood, brotherhood, being together, being one, and no diddy, being one, loving each other without intent, without anything attached to it, just genuine love.
I'm glad you said that last thing, and then I'm gonna shut up because I've became this talkative person in my years to come. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of getting old. I'm tired of talking. I ain't used to do all this talking. However, becoming one, becoming or loving someone without the intent, right?
Yeah.
So I had this dream. And in the dream, it was like hashtag PLNA. And I was trying to figure out what it was. And over this course of time, I keep having it. Then finally, God revealed what it meant, right? And this is why I love the way I love, and the reason why I love you all the way I love y'all. Because it means pure love with no attachment. Meaning, can I love you without something that you can do for me?
Yeah.
What you bring to the table, that does not matter.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're genuine and we've been there, been solid in each other's rock, you know. So that relates for me for whenever I get married, probably at 65, 70.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But
I
no,
get it.
seriously, that relates for me then because if I devote myself to you
Yeah.
and I get on my knee and I ask you to marry me,
Yeah.
that means for me, knowing my past, knowing everything people know, I'm really gonna do this. I'm putting myself out there, and I'm really gonna give you everything I got.
Yeah.
You know, and that takes a lot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to do that and not receive the same love back,
Yeah.
that set me back. So,
Well, we just gonna keep on. We
but
gonna.
God is good.
He is. We gonna
it
keep
happened
on.
for a reason, and I'm
Yeah.
glad it happened.
Yeah.
With multiple situations, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I did it twice. I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I want to love and be married.
Yeah.
So my
And each situation matures you.
it matures me every time.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
that's
let
why
you
glad.
end it, Ken. What you got to say?
I mean, I don't got nothing to say too much of nothing. It's just that, one that I do appreciate just being able to come on here. I think this has been like, one of the best opportunities to be able to come and be open, be
Yeah.
vulnerable, being able to
Yeah.
talk with the two of these guys, and being able to tell, people about, brotherhood, and being able to just. I guess I've just enjoyed this more than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've really actually really enjoyed being able to come and talk and, be able to tell, our story. And
Yes, because y'all got a story.
yeah, we definitely
for
got
sure.
So we're gonna wrap it up, but I'm gonna end it with, I'm gonna go ahead, I said you, but I'm gonna end it with you. And I said that because last week I gave them 30 seconds. and I told them, I said, I want you all to look at each other, and I want you to tell each other how you feel. And they looked at each other, and they were able to tell. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to look at them, and I want you to tell them.
Serious moment. Or
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds, serious.
I was about to say Big Mama.
Before we go off, serious.
All right.
Okay, go.
Stupid.
My boy Mike. Seriously. If how can I say this?
And no crying.
Yeah, that's why I gotta be wise in what I say.
Yeah.
But if this is for both of you, and then I'll do individual. If rock had to be a person, it would be them.
Wow.
Not to compare, because there's no comparison to God.
Yeah.
Right? But as God has stated, on this rock I build my church. That means that literally can nothing break it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Wow.
about them.
Deep.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But Mike, on a personal side, he's one that's going to speak his mind.
Always.
Always. Whether I like it or not.
Always.
And which has, I would say, been the most accountable person, right, for me. Because whereas on Ken, he'd be like, hey, bro, I don't know, though, you know? And then, but his I don't know is for me to go self-reflect.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to need you to
Versus
take a little
Mike
time.
is,
No.
no, nigga. I mean, dude. Sorry. I didn't mean that. Beep.
Roll it back. Roll it back.
But no, it's his is like just no,
Yep.
and it's more of a you need to do this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that being said, you know, his accountability, they're two totally different things.
Yeah.
But it means so much to me.
Yep.
Right. The way they love me, is just. No Diddy. It's like
No
the best
Diddy, I was about
love
to say
like a man can have from brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's literally what I just stated. Pure love with no attachment.
I appreciate
like
y'all.
that.
I do got something to say.
I appreciate
What's
y'all.
up,
Go
brother?
ahead, because you're
Before-
going to end it.
Before we end, I
30
do want to
seconds.
say this. Before we end, I do want to say this. I've done music with, some great people.
Yeah.
But one thing that I have not done, and we going to make this happen,
Gotta make it
I have not done a record with my brothers.
For sure.
Wow.
We haven't.
Gotta make it happen.
Like, because we all matured differently musically. And so I feel like now we at a point now. Me and Fez, we've done a recording before.
Vice
but I
versa.
want
We've
to-
done recording, but we haven't.
Exactly.
So is this a Pulling Back the Rug exclusive? So what y'all telling me is right now in front of everybody watching
it's
is that
coming.
y'all got a record about to drop, right?
I'm
Is that
gonna do
what-
a theater near you.
Y'all heard them. Y'all heard them. So we gonna
for
hold
sure.
them to it. Listen, y'all, I appreciate you all for coming on the Pulling Back the
And if
Rug
anybody want
stage.
to bowl us, I just want to throw that out.
No,
Oh, yeah, if anybody
no.
wanna bowl us,
Oh,
come
Lord,
see
no,
us, man.
No. I appreciate y'all.
1, 2, 3.
Listen,
Get
don't-
any three you want.
Anyone.
It could be AJ Johnson. I'm trying to tell you.
Michael, but I'll bowl it back.
I will bowl him. Okay. All right. Now, anyway.
Y'all
continue
heard
on.
it, okay? Any bowlers, here you go. But
I hope Corey watches, too.
seriously,
Cousin Corey.
I
hope he
appreciate
watches.
y'all, man.
We appreciate
I love
you.
y'all
I
so
love
much.
you as well.
All of that.
I love
And
you.
let me tell you all who are watching. Listen, this show has been amazing. We have laughed. We have cried. Listen, it has been, yeah. But what it means is, you got something to say?
One last thing.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Say it.
Real quick.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Not
Go
even
ahead.
30.
Go ahead.
Prayer requests, right? Although I'm not in the forefront, right? I still pray every day. My relationship with God is still there, right? And so if there's anybody who want prayer, just shoot us an inbox. Shoot the inbox.
Y'all heard? Y'all
We
heard
get
it?
down.
Okay.
For sure.
Y'all
Anyway,
heard it.
Go ahead.
So look, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. This part two
Part 2.
with the brothers. Listen, this has been an amazing show. I appreciate you all for hanging out with us. And as I say every week, there are a million reasons to love but there should never be one. Not one reason to hate. And until next week, this has been